Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nato. It is the start of another nice week here at Gulfstream Park. Fast main track, firm turf course. Of course, we got the all-weather Tapeta and a good race card today, Nate. Race card, but we got some interesting races on the card.
Yeah, without a doubt. The three cards that we've drawn for this week have all been come up exceptionally tough. So looking forward to that. And yeah, as you said, a really good feature today too. The last race of the card, a turf sprint. A lot of the old veterans are there. So yeah, a lot to look forward to today.
Yeah, we got a $200,000 gross jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six, which is going to start in race number 3. Each and every Thursday we have this 8-race card, and of course it starts. And race 3, good chance to take it down this afternoon. I'll have a ticket a little later on. The first race is going to be a 7-furlong maiden claimer for 3 and up, $16,000. And Brian put together an early pick 5 ticket, so let's check it out.
Yeah, both of these tickets are not too extensive. We'll talk about the opener. The single comes in race number 2. It's actually the 2. The 4 scratched out. My best bet of the day will scratch down to Awesome Pudding. I think I might have messed that one up. The deep spread is in race 3. Obviously, you can see it there. I actually went 6 deep. The top pick is number 7, Space Runner. Another single in race 4. My new best bet of the day is Cashier Check for Victor Barboza. And then 5, 6 is the actual order. Sweet Pearl for Bob Hess Jr. and Cozy Cafe. We'll have a replay coming up of that one. There it is. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, number 2 on that one, the 4 scratched out. First race, as I mentioned, 7-furlong maiden claimers, 3-year-olds and up, $16,000. Current favorite is the number 4, Robbed in the Bahamas, but I went with the 8, Pork Chop, who was second on the dirt at this level, 2 starts back, drops after stepping off the claim by Jose D'Angelo, finishing 4th against 35 maidens, going 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. Semi Camacho handles the return to the main track. I remember Pork Chop. Yeah. Last summer, this horse was second to Caton, and I think Caton is going to be one of the favorites in the Saturday feature. So this horse has some back class. We'll see how it runs today. I want to show you a stat on Jose D'Angelo. 50% drop in claiming price. 12 for 37, 32%, 68% in the money. 202 is the return of investment.
Yeah, and he's going to run for the first time on the dirt since Jose claimed him. So I think, there's still room for improvement where he didn't really move forward that much last time, but it was on the Tapeta. It's a relatively small sample at 2 for 19, but we're so used to Jose winning at such a prolific rate. I'm not going to call it a cold streak just yet, but just maybe something to take note of because the barn gets very, very heavily bet. But I landed on this horse too, Ron. I think he's perfectly drawn to the outside. The horses to his inside, I think are okay, but I think his best race might be too good. And now, again, we're going to run back on the main track for the first time since the claim.
Number 4, Robbed in the Bahamas, moves to the Gilberto Zerpa barn after the claim. Wears blinkers today, stalked the pace. Sort of flattened out in that race when finishing 4th at this level and distance last out. The barn, is really good with first off the claim. And you get in the leading rider by a couple, Junior Alvarado in the saddle.
Yeah, and I would think they're going early because the blinkers come on to a horse that's already flashed sub 46 speed. And I will say this, if no one goes with Robbed in the Bahamas early, he could be very problematic for the rest of this field late. With that being said, we'll talk about Tactical Cheech in a second. I'm hoping he can keep him honest, but it's definitely a send mission for Junior getting aboard. You alluded to a 26% for Gilberto off the claim.
A Tactical Cheech, as you alluded to, dropping to the 16 level, a pair of Chase and Fade sprints, but that was against $35,000 claimers, Antonio Sano, Romero Mirage at the controls, and I think this one's got to be up there on the engine, too.
Yeah, and the blinkers go on, so you would think a little more early speed as well, and he chased a 46-3 last time and tired a very, very fast race for the level that he comes out of. So, yeah, I would think you're going to know him early and often as well.
Let's go to race number 2 this afternoon, about 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta. Claimers, 3-year-olds of 4 and up. Non-winners of 2, 12-5 down to $10,000. As we mentioned, the number 4, one tough son of a gun, has been scratched out of the race. I always had the number 2, Awesome Pudding on top, who's turning back to 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta after responding to the drop down to the 12-5 level with a pair of improved second-place finishes, sprinting on the main track for Ralph Nix. I want to show you. He does well, Ralph, with the Tapeta run. It's just a Tapeta stat here, all levels over the past 8 months. He's 7 for 30, 23%, 57% in the money. 153 is the return investment. So he's had success. We put 8 months because that's about how long we've had this surface here. And it looks like a good stat. And, of course, Embassy Alejandro Miro certainly adds to the appeal.
Yeah, I mean, I had the 4 on top, but now with the scratch, regardless of who you like, there's no doubt Awesome Pudding is the loose in controlling speed in here. He comes out of a very good race where the winner came right back to win. He was well clear of third, and he's going to be a really, really short number because whoever else that you might like in here, they're at a severe tactical pace disadvantage today.
That inside horse, Sovereign of Speed, is dropping to this level. Tracked the action, finished fourth against 20 claimers, going 5.5. And it was on the all-weather surface for Chris Davis. Junior Alvarado got the inside draw this afternoon. He's going to have to find a way to keep Awesome Pudding in its sights.
Yeah, and I think that's key, Ronnie, too. Chris does a good job on the all-weather. We've seen Fire and Spice run so well over the winter. And, maybe Junior takes the thought process of, you know what, it's close to a match race here. I know who I have to beat. I'm going to stay as close to Awesome Pudding as I can, let the chips fall where they may. Maybe they wake up off the far turn 4 in front, so even if he goes after Awesome Pudding early, he'll have an edge on the rest of the field late. Easier said than done, though, and clearly Awesome Pudding's the horse to beat.
Warfeather, maybe if you're looking for someone to grab a part of the exacta, 2 for $5 in the money against similar quality on the all-weather to Peter. For 1 Arias, Angel Arroyo rode this horse well a couple of starts back. Will be aboard. Maybe he grabs a share today.
Yeah, and if the top 2, go at it earlier than you might think, Warfeather's not going to be in a bad spot when they come up to the far turn.
We're going to take a quick short break. When we come back, we'll have my Rainbow Six ticket with that $200,000 gross jackpot guarantee.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Round off her inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 yards out. It's last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back, Gulfstream today, Ron and Brian. Third race is going to be on the turf at 1 mile and 1/16. These are maiden optional claimers, 3-year-olds and up. Optional tag if you're not a Florida bet, $40,000. Great way to start the Rainbow Six with a full field of 9 on the turf. We're going to look at my ticket today. Did go 3 deep in here in the open look. We'll talk about race 3 in a moment. In race number 4, I went with Cashier Check, Back At Ya, and Birdman Richie. Race number 5, I went with the 5 Sweet Pearl, but I'm going to use Co-C on top also on my ticket. In race number 6 this afternoon, 2 deep with 3 Basila and Cindy's Song. Race number 7, 2 deep once again with Queen Calypso and Choose to Be Happy. I think those are the logical 2. Old Chestnut was my long shot today at 6-1, but we had a scratch in there, so I don't know what kind of price I'm going to get, but I got Old Chestnut, Belgrano, and added the Virginian after the scratch of the other horse, which was Shecky Shabazz, who I had further down, Shecky Shabazz, which I was trying to beat today.
You should always be trying to beat Shecky Shabazz, Ronnie. And I don't think we were ever getting 6-1 on Old Chestnut, but we certainly aren't now with the scratches. He was my long shot, too.
So there you go. We're thinking alike, but it's going to be one of the favorites in there right now. So this one, as I mentioned, 1 mile and the 16th on the turf. I did go with the number 7 Space Runner, who's stretching out today to the 1 mile and the 16th, recovered from that slow start to finish 4th as the favorite against 50 maiden optional claimers. Phil Gilberto Jr. in the saddle today.
Yeah, there's a lot to like here. The margin for error is a slim one, and that's why I went 6 deep in my early pick 5, but the post for Space Runner is a lot better today, going 1 mile and a 16th as opposed to being in the 9 hole going 7.5. That's a problem, and he broke second last too as well. So I thought he ran very, very well last time, routing on the turf for the first time with a 14 on the Thoroughgrass, which puts him right in the mix. But like I said, the margin is slim here, and to me, it's a spread race.
Yeah, and you went with the number 5, who have a little further down, Moon Quest from Mark Cassie in here. Comes off the bench, was actually up at at Woodbine, come off the bench, run that okay fifth against this level of competition.
Yeah, we're going second off the layoff. You mentioned it, off the bench last time. So I think he's got to improve. He's going to have to. There's no doubt about that. But they ran him 4 times in maiden special weights at Woodbine, and it didn't work out. But now, he was kind of with his friends last time. That was a fast race for the level, too. So he won't have to move forward that much, and you would think he should now that he's got that tightener behind him.
The number 9, Quantum Theory, is hoping to stretch his speed to the wire after pressing the pace and weakening to finish 7th behind Space Runner last time out. I think the little bit of class relief, and I think this one is a major part of the piece of the pace puzzle. And we saw a couple of races on Sunday on the turf where you wanted to be close up or on the lead. And this horse, certainly, if he can last this time out, you got to use him somewhere in your ticket.
Without a doubt. And you could make a case for this horse being the controlling speed because, I have this angle where the bad post actually turns into a good post because you have to go. There's no messing around here. Paco's aboard as well. This is a send mission, and I'll tell you what, if he catches a flyer at the start, he could be controlling things early.
The number 1, 7 Bridges Road, to depart from the rail after breaking towards the outside, I should say, post 10, finishing 3rd against those 35 maidens, going 8.5 furlongs for Terry Pompey. Miguel Vasquez in the saddle. 7 Bridges Road, Eagle song, if I remember correctly.
Well, I wouldn't know anything about that.
You don't know the Eagles?
No, quite proud.
I think it's an Eagles song.
Quite proud of that, too, by the way. This horse ran well in his first turf start last time. And, note now, he was in for the 35 last time. He's not in today for the tag. Much better post as well. And regardless of if he's on the lead or if he's not, he's going to be close. And as you said, we saw it on Sunday, a 15-1 wire job in the opener. I played a horse that got loose and ran 3rd at a big number, too. So you want to be close.
Yeah, so that is race number 3 this afternoon. Flipping the page and going back to the all-weather Tapeta. It's about 1 mile 70 yards. Optional claimer for 3-year-olds started for 16 or less, or the same tag of $16,000. Scratch the 1 in here, Grand Sir, and that leaves us with the 6 to kick off the late pick 5.
Yeah, we won't have to use too much time to discuss this ticket here. There you see $6. I could either get the soup today or play the late pick 5. I don't think you have to look too deep and get too expansive. I mentioned 5-6 in race 5 that we'll talk about shortly. Certainly Basilia is going to be very, very tough to beat in race 6 at a short number. I will call it a spread, is in race 7. I do go down inside. Caramel Martini, I think, might get loose in there with Paco aboard. And then in the finale, we mentioned the long shot that we both landed on, Old Chestnut, and certainly Belgrano's the horse to beat with a couple scratches, going to take away any value in that as well.
Yeah, that race sort of fell apart as far as long shots go with a couple of scratches in that race. Getting back to this race here, one of the singles you had, Cashier Jack, is hoping to finally cash in after knocking on the door in 3 consecutive all-weather route races, including that hard-fought neck defeat last time out.
Well, that's the only kind of thing you got to worry about a little bit. Now we've had 4 pretty close losses in a row, and you'd like to think, well, it's time to break the door down today for this midnight storm. Ridgeling, and I think it's all systems go in here. My new best bet of the day, because I lost my best bet earlier, going to be on or just off the early pace. And the overall body of work, too, Ronnie, is just kind of better than these. And comes out of 2 very, very live races as well. You can see Protonic Power ran second, 2 back, came back to beat him last time on the square by a neck. He's got to deliver today.
Got a bunch of best bets. He must keep extra ones in his pocket every day. I don't understand it. The 5 back at you, I think, has a shot, and he has moves to the Gustavo Delgado barn after the claim. Stretches out to the mile 70 yards after rallying to finish second. That was at the 20-16. Claimers going 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta. The barn is pretty solid with new claims. Actually, we'll show you that first after the claim on the Tapeta. Of course, once again, over the last 8 months, 5 for 15, 33%, 40% in the money. 338 is the return of investment. AC back at you. So thought that was a pretty good stat to show you. And this horse, you're going to get the apprentice Elsa Morrison handling that added real estate.
Yeah, that means you're going to get 7 pounds from the rest of the field, and it can't hurt any, that's for sure. And as we saw there, the Gustavo off the claim is good enough as it is, and then you see the 33%. So back at you, I would think moves up. The only question mark is you don't see any 2-turn races showing, but he's a mucho macho man out of a Speightstown mare, so you'd certainly think it's in there. And I think the stretch out too, Ronnie, especially with the 7-pound apprentice, as you mentioned, puts him more in the race early too.
Yeah, I would think he would be a part of the pace, if not on with the pace. Number 7, Birdman Richard will try to make it 2 in a row after rallying late to defeat 20 condition claimers. Going this distance for Antonio Sano Romero Mirage in the saddle again.
Yeah, he's a cool horse, isn't he? He just runs every time for Antonio, and that's, Antonio's been a little snake bitten at the Royal Palm meet. I have to be honest here, but this is the horse that's got the W for him. This is a rising class though today, so he's going to have to step up. With that being said, the race he ran last time, if he can reproduce it against a group like this, is good enough to win this race. You see the 72 buyer, he ran an 11 on the thoroughgraphs. That's a race. If he throws it down again, the rest of them probably have to come up there to get to it.
And what about the 4 Vancouver, the auto? This one from the Ernesto Ochoa barn. It's gelding, getting Lasix, getting blinkers. They threw everything at this horse after finishing 4th back in at Gulfstream in November, I believe it was.
What else isn't he getting? And that was his only Tapeta race, and it was a pretty solid effort against a good group. Don't forget, Peter D was all the rage back then. He loved this Tapeta course. Started out 3 for 3, so Vancouver Doro, I don't know what we're going to get today off the layoff, off the barn switch, off, as Rodney said, everything getting thrown at the wall. But he's in the mix in here.
That's the horse that I should have used on my ticket. I was afraid of that one because of the reasons you just mentioned. Race number 5 this afternoon is a 1 mile claimer. These are fillies in mares 4 and up, $6,250. No scratches, jockey changes in here. And it looks like the race goes through the 5 Sweet Pearl.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. And I think there's enough speed to set her up as well. And, you look at the dirt race 2 back for Bobby Hess Jr., and it was a solid win for 12.5. Now she's in for 6,250. She's can be placed anywhere, and I like this post for her too.
Yeah, you just, of course, always afraid of the class drop.
Yeah.
12.5, 32, all over the place.
Yep.
Now $6,250. So you got to read something into that. Maybe you don't go and jump in right away. I think you got a video here on Cozy Cafe.
Yes, we lost a best bet and a video early on, so
Right.
we're going to show a few here. Here she is out the back in the finishing order in this race. Okay, 6-1-5. So she runs down a group of horses, 2 of them which stayed up there. It wasn't like this pace fell apart by any stretch of the imagination. She ran, I think it's, better than it looked. Yeah, the splits were pretty hot that day, but these 2 horses stuck around. I think this was a solid effort. She's another one, Ron, that I think the flow of this race might flatter her a little bit, and I think she could get overlooked. That's a 3L win, so obviously she's rising in class today, but I thought she ran very, very well. It's kind of sneaky well in here, and she's a player, even though she does meet tougher today, admittedly.
Yeah, stepping up the competition. The number 3, you see her just getting up there. Pretty nice performance she was the number 6, of course, 2-1 that day. The number 3, Co-C, will face open claimers 2 today on the main track after reeling off back-to-back condition claiming victories, going a mile 70 yards on the all-weather surface. Orme Mirage claimed her last time out. He's got Edgar Perez handling the 1-turn mile on the dirt. So good form on the Tapeta. Does it translate to the main track today?
That's the question. She's 0 for 7 on the main track. She has a second. She does have a third, but the races aren't as fast as her Tapeta races. She does have a lot of foundation because you can't find a 1-turn race on her PP. So this, 1-turn mile could be good for her. And, much like Cozy Cafe, she's advanced through her conditions in the last 2. So that's a positive. She's going to have to prove, though, she can get it on the main track.
The number 2, time to 2-step, moves to the Victor Barboza Jr. barn after the claim. Stalked the pace, finished 3rd. It was at this level and distance. He's good with first off the claim, over 20%. MSC El Jaramillo atop this 2-step salsa mare.
Yeah, it was a good effort, and, you got to improve off Peter Walder. Easier said than done, but Victor does do a good job. I just wonder if she susses out as the inside speed, if that's kind of a tough road to hoe with pace pressure to her outside.
Well, let's go to race number 6, and we're back on the turf this afternoon. It's going to be 1 mile and 1/16. These are claiming fillies, 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 races in life. Nice clean slate, no scratches, jockey changes. And I know you had the number 3, Basila, on your ticket this afternoon as one of the singles.
Yeah, it's the old reclaim. We love that angle, right? It's such a positive angle. And I think now we can say the trouble that she had 2 back was the reason why she ran so poorly. And you look at all her other races, and with Peter Miller and Mike Maker, and last time with Billy Therinos, they're just much better than this group. 8-5 on the morning line, probably going to be shorter than that. And I just think she's the right kind of single in here too, Ronnie, because she's also not a horse that needs to drop out the back, so you don't have to worry about, well, we're giving up a lot of positional speed on a speedy turf course. To me, I think she's going to be really tough in here.
And what about that inside horse, Susan's Novella, that I have a little further down on the ticket? This one from the Big Toe Stables, I think it is, Miguel Vasquez in the side. I think you got a video.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. Not a heck of a lot going on here, but she definitely had trouble. Now, this is the turf race at Tampa, 3 back. She's down inside the 1 horse here, and she is going to check a little bit coming in when it's time to start going. And you know, I don't know if she was going to win, but you don't want to lose ground here going into the turn when kind of the race starts. And here's, you know, Katie's Lady, as you can see there, at 6-5. She's going to win. She clearly lost several lengths there and had to lose her momentum. So I thought this was a pretty sharp re-rally. And, you know, we've talked about this a lot, Ron. These are $20,000, $30,000, $35,000 claimers here. You know, they don't have a lot of gears. And I thought she acquitted herself nicely in this spot here. She ran on late. It was a good effort. The winner obviously was very good and very well meant. And if you're thinking an alternative to what will be a super heavy favorite in here, you could do worse than Susan's Novella.
The number 2 horse in here, Cindy Song, is debuting on the turf after a solid outing against similar opposition on the Tapete, in which she set the pace throughout. She just got nailed at the wire when beating the neck. That was going a mile 70 yards. Ralph Nix, Chantal Sutherland handling the surface switch. This one can get to the lead and not be challenged. Could be dangerous in here.
Well, I agree with that. That's a good point about the flow of this race, who's going and maybe who's not. Chantal got some traction last week with back-to-back wins, so she's starting to pick it up a little bit. And I think Ralph Nix obviously he's on such a prolonged run between the championship meet and now starting here. Yeah, Cindy Song could do some damage in here up front.
Yeah, just, speed play for me. The number 5 Something Right is stepping up to face winners after shipping in from the fairgrounds to defeat those 35 maidens here, going a mile into 16 on the turf. I found the stat on Mark Cassie. Maiden winner last out, roots on the turf right here at Gulfstream Park over the last 5 years. He's 8 for 45, 17%. 43% in the money, 132 is the return of investment. So there is reason to believe that this horse can step up off the win and run okay.
She's going to have to, and I expect her to run okay. Getting to the level of Basilia is a different question, because she's got to run a lot faster, and she had a lot going her way last time.
Let's go to race number 7 this afternoon. We're going to the Tapeta at about 5.5 furlongs. These are fillies and mares. These are optional claimers, 4 and up, started for 16 or less, or the optional tag of $32,000. We scratch in the number 3, Inner Beauty, the Irish bred in here. And, well, you went with the number 1. Let's start with Caramel Martini, now in the Tim Curtin barn today.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a surprise to see Paco Lopez here, because you look at the body of work of Caramel Martini, and she's fast. And we know Paco, how aggressive he is out of the gate, and he's as good as there is getting a horse onto the lead. And this horse has been running in very fast races at Presque Isle Downs. Does come in off the layoff. I get that could be a little problematic, but some of these works are very sharp. And I think this horse down inside, the 7-year-old, is the controlling speed in here. We've talked about it a lot. We're going 5.5, Ronnie. It's a sharp, quick trip. Let's take a deep breath and don't forget to stop.
Yeah, Presque Isle's hard to figure what those 35 optional claimers are like, but this horse has that speed, which is also important. The number 6 here, Queen Calypso, stepping up the competition after reeling off 3 consecutive sprint victories on the Tapeta, including that 20-starter optional claimer. Going this 5.5 furlong distance last out. Maybe she gets tested a little bit for class with Junior Alvarado with the controls, but boy, is she going good.
Gustavo just went by in the golf cart out there, and he's done a really good job of this daughter of Cantharos. 3 for 3 since the claim. And, we've seen a couple of these horses today advancing through their conditions, and she likes this Tapeta. Obviously, she showed last time how versatile she is. She can be on the lead. She can come from off of it, and Junior's well drawn here to gauge what's happening from the inside.
The number 5 horse in here, Choose to Be Happy, is hoping to turn the tables on Queen Calypso today after chasing her throughout, finishing second to her last out for Eddie Plesa Jr. You're getting an aggressive rider, Embassy El Jaramillo, handling what should be a spirited rematch. These guys, with Caramel Martini, Choose to Be Happy, Queen Calypso. I think it's all about the trip in here.
Without a doubt. I mean, you got 3 horses that want to be involved early. How about Eddie Plesa Jr. just having a white-hot start to the Royal Palm meet? Everything he sends out has been super, super live. And, this one you're going to know early and often.
Let's go to race number 8, our final race on the Thursday card. It's on the turf, 5 furlongs, allowance optional claimant for 3-year-olds and up. It's the feature race, $62,500. As we mentioned a couple of times, scratch the 4 Sheikh Shabazz, the 5 Cajun Casanova, and note the jockey on the number 9 horse in here is Jose Morelos. So, I was looking to beat a couple of horses that I thought might take some money in here, one of them being Sheikh Shabazz, who certainly doesn't know where the winner's circle is. It always runs its race, just doesn't win. So I went with Old Chestnut. I think you got a video with Belgrano that you want to show.
Yeah, the morning line's out the window here with 37 points coming out. It's unfortunate. But, yeah, we're going to take a look at this video. So Old Chestnut's the 10, Belgrano's the 6. And there you see Belgrano. And, well, where's Old Chestnut? He's not quite around yet. So Belgrano is a really, really nice horse for Frank Russo and has done some good things. He's a turf sprint winner. He's going to get the jump here. And here's Old Chestnut. Thank you again, guys. Trying to loop him. That's not the MO of this 5-furlong turf race here. You're just not going to do that at Gulfstream Park. And so Belgrano's going to get first run. How good was Yes, I'm Free this winter at the championship meet? And Belgrano's down inside. But I thought Old Chestnut ran sneaky well in here in a really tough start. He gets involved late. And I think today, Ron, as not to speak for you, but I'm sure we both saw the same thing. He's supposed to move forward today. It's second off the long layoff, and he ran plenty well last time. We're going to get a tighter version of him today.
Yeah, that was a 7-month layoff, and it's a graded stakes place on Spitestown and everything. And like I said, once again, that we were just trying to look for a little bit of price. I thought this horse would move forward. I was hoping to get a price. But with that said, the horse to beat in here is definitely the number 9, Belgrano, you just saw. And I think this one takes the lion's share of the action after a pair of solid performances. Behind that repeat winner that you alluded to, Yes, I Am Free, including the neck defeat in the Silks Run, Frank Russo, that's where we're going to get Jose Morelos in the saddle today.
Yeah, nice pickup ride for Jose, that's for sure. And Frank's done such a good job with this veteran son of Warfront. And Loris Cesares did a great job with Yes, I Am Free. He was the best turf sprinter we had at the championship meet, and Belgrano didn't give him any quarter at all. So, yeah, he's clearly the horse to beat in here.
The number 3, the Virginia, has been knocking on the door in consecutive races at this level and distance, and maybe just needs that little push from Lady Luck, with some kind of pace in front to be right there at the wire.
Yeah, he does. You're right, Ronnie. He fires every time, and you look at that race 3 back in December, and it was very, very fast. Now he's third start off that layoff, and he's moving forward. Natural Power, 2-back, was so good, like a closing freight train on this turf course. The Virginian's got the tactical speed to be involved throughout. He's somewhere in the mix in here, but I kind of like where we put him. I'm wondering if a win's just a little out of his reach.
Yeah, so we'll see how the last race plays out this afternoon. Feature race, great way to end the day. 5 furlongs on the turf, 62,500 optional claimers. But we're not done yet. We got our lightning round, in which we like to do on every Thursday when we come back and show you where everybody stands.
Yeah, without a doubt. So we'll take a look here at the trainers first, and no surprise that Safi Joseph Jr. is leading the way, and White Barrio, we're going to talk about him in a second too, is a leading Derby contender. Kent Sweezy just keeps on keeping on. A very, very hot start to the Royal Palm meet.
Yeah, you mentioned Mark and Victor and Eddie Plesa Jr. right there. So
11 starters for Eddie Plesa, and he's on the board.
Yeah, so just all these guys just going so good, and the jockeys maybe a little bit closer, right?
Yeah, let's take a look here. Junior's 2 ahead, and we've got to watch now for Miguel Vasquez, who's closing in on 1,000 career victories, and it won't be long. And Amicio Jaramillo doing his thing, and Edwin and Paco as well. So this is shaping up to be very contentious throughout the meet.
Yeah, so they're very close, and it's just good to see how everybody's performing here. We'll see how it shakes out when we check it again at the end of the week. Of course, you can keep score as we go along through the 4-day race weekend here. And then we have one of our favorite horses here was rewarded by the Florida Breeders.
Yeah, a couple championship awards for Shifty She, the Florida bred Turf Female of the Year and Older Female of the Year as well, and she was so good at not only at the championship meet, but throughout the course of her career, and has been a real pleasure, and dances a lot of dances too.
Yeah, so she's not afraid. She's always out there, and great connections. So congratulations to all of those people that are involved with Shifty She. And as you mentioned, we got lots of stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks.
We do, because I think our horses are going to acquit themselves very, very nicely, not only on the first Saturday in May, because we've talked a lot about White Abarrio and simplification. White Abarrio is going to get his final work on Saturday, simplification scheduled tomorrow, so we'll be all over that. But, we haven't given enough love to Kathleen O, who's undefeated and is a major, major player in the Kentucky Oaks. And here she is winning our Oaks on the Curlin Florida Derby undercard in a really, really fast race, too.
Yeah, I really like this performance, and everybody's saying, well, I don't know if she can go and win, the Kentucky Oaks. I said, I think she's absolutely the one to beat and will be the favorite in there, I believe.
Yeah, she's a major, major player for Shug. She's 4 for 4. Great to see. So they're going to know she's in there. That's for sure, and I'm very confident. And we'll talk about it, many times, that they're going to know our Curlin Florida Derby horses are in there as well.
We always have a great weekend here on Kentucky Derby weekend with lots going on here. Of course, you got to get your tickets, reserve a table up at 10 Palms or wherever you want to sit here, because it's a pretty crowded here. It's a lot of fun watching those horses, and we certainly have a double-rooted interest in the Kentucky Derby.
I agree totally. So, check the website or give 10 Palms a call. You want to get on this early because those tables are going to go quickly. And, people have asked me, and I'm not trying to be a homer or anything. They're going to know our horses are in there this year because I think they're very, very strong, and they bring a lot of talent and foundation, a lot of experience to first Saturday in May.
Yeah, they haven't missed many dances
Nope.
all winter long where other horses coming in have 2 starts, whatever. You'll be able to figure that out. I'm in agreement with you there. So my selection will be on the first first bet whenever that. I think it comes out today or tomorrow. We have a bunch of handicappers on first bet for a free sheet to see who we like, and I'm going with Charge It.
Okay, lightly raced and improving, and in expert hands for Todd Pletcher, who's won a couple derbies and has parlayed Always Dreaming a Florida Derby win into the Kentucky Derby as well.
Well, we'll see how it plays out. It's got we got another week of interest, and we got some works we're going to show you for our horses. So that's it for us. We'll be back here for race number 1 in just a little while.
The Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance is really the vehicle for the transition for our racehorses coming off the track into a second career and safe environment for these horses when they're done racing. I've been passionate about racehorses my whole life, animals in general, and without the TAA to provide that oversight, there would be a big void in terms of making sure that we have this ongoing safe environment for our off-the-track racehorses. I'm excited about the undertaking and excited about working with our board and our team at the TAA to continue the wonderful progress that has been made. So I'm very excited about what the future holds.